Yes, welcome to today's video. This video is going to be about a customer calling me and actually told me that our system is having certain issues. What is the issue? She said it's very slow and not really functional. So on checking it, I realized that the system would once she powers it up, the system would display, but we just hang on that HP screen. After a long time, it would leave that HP display screen, but it's going to go to the next part without necessarily booting up the Windows operating system. So it's very slow. So for me, there are a couple of things that could be the cause. So I'm going to share my experience fixing this particular PC. I'm going to share my experience with you. So join me. Let's see what it looks like. So you want to consider a number of things. Well, I know you are not an engineer, but I'm just trying to, or you're not a technician, but I'm just trying to sensitize you. Let's see, once the system is having these issues, maybe you have little experience, you can actually do one or two things. That is the essence of the video. Now, let me put on the system. Is it on? I'm not sure it's on. Okay, it's on. So initially, you can see now, this HP blinks and it goes to the next screen. But when I was trying to fix it, it was the opposite. Now I have actually fixed it, and that is why it is working now. So I would say sorry, I didn't carry you along, but I just thought of doing a video after fixing it. I didn't think about it initially. So you see that HP logo at the beginning. When it flashes, it stays on that screen. When it stays on the screen, what then would be the problem? The first thing to suspect is your hard disk. This is an SSD here, but it's SATA. So it could be an SSD, it could be an hard disk. In fact, it could be this type of SSD that we call M.2 or NVMe. So it could be any type. Just know that it is the storage. So it's actually a computer firm, like I can see. It's a solar installation firm that owns this. I can see their display now. Okay. Now, so what I'm trying to say is this could be the cause. Once this is faulty, then you just have to remove. Once you detach it and put on the system, you then discover that the logo, that first logo will just show and boot up and work. But in this case, that was not the issue. That was not the issue. The issue doesn't have to do with this. So we'll move on to the next thing. Another thing that can actually cause the issue is the RAM. But the RAM will not manifest in that manner. When the RAM is the fault, it's not going to display. Or sometimes when it displays, it's just going to malfunction. Not as if it's going to hang. You know, this one had to do with something like it's hung for a while, then would release itself and take almost the whole day before it boots up. So in this case, it wasn't like that. But I'm also saying the RAM can be a suspect when you are having issues like this. But the one for RAM mostly would be that the system will power on without a display to the screen. You know. Now, third thing to suspect on this same issue is you want to consider your CMOS battery. Your CMOS battery is actually meant to save the settings on the BIOS, and it's also meant to save the date and time. But technically speaking, the CMOS battery can also destabilize the operations of the system. And how? From experience, I can tell you that the 3 volts that the CMOS battery produces, once that 3 volts is absent, or the CMOS battery is still on the panel, and the 3 volts is no longer complete. That is, maybe you're having 2 volts or maybe 1 point something, then the system would begin to malfunction just because of that CMOS battery. So you might just want to detach the CMOS battery and your system will work fine. So it happens very well, especially on Dell products. It does that mostly on Dell products. Now, so we tested the CMOS battery on this system and that was not the issue. So the next thing to look out for immediately was, my mind went directly to the BIOS. I wanted to do a BIOS reset, but because of the way it was so slow, it was very difficult. You know, the BIOS started loading. When your BIOS that maybe a BIOS of 4 MB loading, what's a BIOS and loading? It doesn't have any serious graphics interface, but still loading. So I discovered the BIOS should be the issue. But on a second thought, I just quickly said, okay, why not just replace the processor first? I wanted to replace the processor because it's easier, like faster. So I had to say, let me try another processor. So I had to remove this. This is the processor that was inside the system before. You can see the system is up. So this is the processor that was inside the system before. So I had to remove this. I had to search for another one, and then I put another one on it, and boom, the system started working perfectly. So it was even surprising to me because from our theoretical perspective, the way of doing things, processor ordinarily should not be, from my experience, processor ordinarily should not be one of the reasons why the system would hang for that amount of time. But in this case, it is. So maybe it's peculiar to these all-in-one PCs, I can't say. But what did we fix on this system? It was actually the processor replacement that fixed the issue, and now it is responding properly and it is working properly. So the last thing that you might also want to consider while fixing this kind of issue is actually the BIOS chip flashing, or let's say reprogramming, because when your BIOS chip is also faulty sometimes, or the files on it is corrupt, it's possible it displays and hangs. But these things are just sometimes peculiar to different products, So there's a system I still fixed some days ago. It's actually a Microsoft Surface Pro. When you put it on, it's just going to hang on the Surface logo, and it's not going to do anything. So everything tried on it, nothing worked. In fact, that one is, everything is, even the RAM, everything is embedded on the motherboard. So we just have to go ahead, flash the BIOS chip, and it worked fine, But in this case, we had to change this desktop processor, and it solved the issue. So I believe you have learned a lot of things regarding this short video. So since you have learned something, please pass it to the next person. Thank you very much.